What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I was minding my business playing some Dying Light 2 this morning, as I've been doing the last couple of days as I work my way through the campaign. What a fantastic game. When one of my buddies messaged me and said, did you know that even though Sifu is only supposed to come out on Tuesday of this coming week, if you buy the digital deluxe edition, which is on the Epic Store, of course the game is exclusive to the Epic Store, then you get 48 hours early access. I did not know that. So at 2 o'clock this afternoon, I bought the game just in time for this early access unlock, and I've spent a bunch of hours with it, and I'd like to share that with you, my thoughts on the game. This is not a preview or anything like that, but I've spent about 2.5 hours on the game. I've basically gotten past the first two bosses. I kind of think I understand what the loop of the game is all about, and I'd just like to discuss that with you. Now, as usual, if you find this video useful or enjoy it in any way, please do consider giving it a like, subbing to the channel, maybe sharing the video with a buddy. It really does help the brand grow, and it just means a whole lot to me. One last thing, of course, because this is a brand new game, I'm not going to be sharing any footage. The footage that you're going to be seeing running in the background is not going to be from further than the first hour of the game. I don't want to spoil too much for you guys. I definitely want you to experience this game, for yourself. But I just wanted to put you at rest in case you were scared that you were going to see some spoilers. But without any further ado, let's go. So Sifu is a third-person beat-em-up, basically like a third-person version of Streets of Rage, where essentially you have these locales that you go into. It is a revenge story. I'm not going to give away the story of the game too much other than that, but essentially you're going after this organization and its bosses, one level at a time, one location at a time, as you're trying to figure out who the big boss is, and you're working through his underlings. One of the things that I thoroughly enjoy about this game, and that wasn't really apparent to me when I saw, previews and other, pieces of content about this in the run-up to this game, was just how much the control scheme for this game is like a fighting game. You have low parries, high parries, blocks, reflects, throws. You can, put guys down on the ground and, hit them on the ground. You can pick up weapons. You can throw weapons. You can do combos. And you can have unblockable moves and eye pokes and all kinds of crazy shit. And it's ridiculously awesome how they implemented the fighting system for this game. A large part of the first hour for me with this game was just trying to realize exactly how, which distances I can attack from and how I can work. Very much the same way how one figures out a fighting game, and you figure out movements and how throws work and what you can block and what you can't block and how to parry and all of that. And it's just fantastic how it all comes together. Now, the core system of Sifu, I think, is very well known already. It's basically the main hook of the game, but trying to explain it in the shortest amount of possible, basically how it breaks down is you start the game as a 20-year-old man that is essentially going on this revenge-fueled adventure. Now you have a string of pendants on your waist, which essentially represent lives that you have. You start out with 5. And when you take enough damage in a level and die, you are presented with a choice of quitting and starting the entire adventure over from scratch, losing all of your XP and all of your accumulated upgrades that you haven't turned permanent. I'll explain more about that just now. And essentially starting from scratch, or you can sacrifice one of the pendants and age that many years and come back to life. Now, there's a mechanic built into the game that at certain levels increments, basically every 10 levels, so 30, 40, 50, 60, you lose a little bit of life but gain that much more damage. It's basically to kind of like level the playing field in a little bit, that if you are taking too many deaths, you're taking too much damage, then the game kind of like helps you out by helping you to deal more damage. Now, eventually you reach a point where either you run out of these pendants, in other words, you can't come back to life, or you grow too old so that you essentially also sacrifice your campaign, and then basically you have to start all over again. Now that is it in a nutshell. There's a little bit more nuance to it due to the, things like, for instance, the amount of pendants that you have on your waist when you die determines how many years you age. So when you lose 1, you age 1 year. When you lose 2, you lose 2, and so on and so forth. Now, also at the time of dying, you were able to spend accumulated XP to buy yourself upgrades. Now, these are things like, for instance, specific skills for a specific weapon type, or a different kind of sweep, or a different kind of throw, or a different kind of combo. and you can unlock these for the run that you're on, or you can spend 5 times the XP and do a permanent unlock of that, which will then be available even if you do the reset back to the age 20 and basically start over. That means that in time you'll be able to grind out the game basically by just accumulating enough XP and unlocking enough permanent unlocks so that you're that much more powerful and have access to that much, that many more skills when you are level 20. I like this system a lot because it does mean that eventually you can sort of grind your way past any kind of difficulty that previously kept you from getting past that. I do appreciate the fact that the game is difficult straight off the bat and it gives you something to work for and get better, but I do also like the idea of that after a certain amount of hours you are powerful enough that you can essentially progress from beginning to end and essentially see the game in its totality. Definitely, I'm sure there's going to be some very impressive plays and very impressive videos of people that are able to do a sit down and finish from start to end by not aging up once and staying age 20. And that is of course the carrot at the end of the stick that drives you to play games like this, and essentially you want to get better. Now, I haven't played nearly enough hours with this game to give it a full review or anything like that, and generally speaking I don't do reviews on this channel. So the main reason why I wanted to bring this video is because, first of all, it was an insane surprise for me that I could suddenly get 48 hours early access to play this, which is great because it means that I'm not conflicted on Tuesday between firing this up, Dying Light 2, and of course Lost Ark, which drops on Tuesday for early access as well. So from a timing perspective, I just wanted to share this and tell you guys a little bit more about the game. I purposely kept myself not in the dark, but I tried to sort of do a little bit of a media blackout with this, wanting to not find out too much about it. I wanted the game to kind of like surprise me, and what I've seen so far definitely does that. It releases at a low cost kind of, so it's not the full price of like something like a 60 US AAA title. So from a pricing point, it's also very comfortable and very suitable for your wallet. But more than that, I can definitely say that if you are a fan of this genre of games, if you have fond memories of playing things like Streets of Rage, for example, that I brought up, but more specifically, if you are a fighting game fan, then you might have on your hands here something that you'll really enjoy, especially the aspect of learning the moves, learning the parries, learning to get good with this game and essentially create these flawless runs from beginning to end. But that's it for the video. Keep your eyes open for some additional videos in this week or next when I've spent enough time with the game that I can have an overall opinion and I've at least seen it from beginning to end. Let me know in the comments down below if you are enjoying this, if you managed to pick up Sifu as well with the early access. Tell me what you like about the game. Is it hard for you or is it easy peasy, lemon squeezy? But more than that, just tell me if you're having fun playing it. I want to thank you for spending the time with me as always, and I want you to have a fantastic morning, a great afternoon, and a super awesome evening wherever you are in the world. And until next video, fucking cheers.
They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me.